And a very warm welcome to all of you. I'm Neha Bhardwaj-Alter and this is Game On, where you get the latest from the world of sports. We've got to begin with the ICC Champions Trophy 2025, and India are set to face off against Bangladesh in their opening match of the Champions Trophy at the Dubai International Stadium on February 20th. After a string of disappointing results since winning the T20 World Cup in June in 2024, Rohit Sharma and Gautam Gambhir, for both of them, it's a huge opportunity to prove that they are the best in the world by winning the ICC Champions Trophy. Now, in the conditions that they have, they really are the favourites. The timing of this tournament couldn't have been better for India, who've just thrashed England 7-1 across 8 white ball internationals this past few weeks. On top of that, their batters are in ominous touch. Shubman Gill, he's been in red-hot form in ODIs in the series against England. He scored 87, 60 and 112 in 3 matches. No batter has scored more than Shubman Gill after 50 ODI innings. He also boasts the highest average, which is 60.16 among all players who've amassed at least 2,000 runs in their first 50 innings. Now we come to Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, the stalwarts of this format. They've been under scrutiny for their lean returns in recent months, but Rohit Sharma scored 100 against England to show that he's far from being done yet. Virat Kohli has also looked good in the series against England, and this 50-over format, it is a perfect platform for them to return to their best. There's also plenty of firepower in the middle order, with Shreyas Iyer, Rishabh Pant, KL Rahul and Hardik Pandya all possessing the requisite skills to win matches with the bat. And let's also not forget Akshar Patel, who's been coming up at number 5. Now, India were dealt a huge blow when Jasprit Bumrah, the best bowler in the world, he was ruled out due to a back injury. His presence would have obviously given a significant edge to this Indian outfit, but now the onus falls on Mohammad Shami to lead the pace attack. Shami is coming off a lengthy layoff, and Indian fans will keep their fingers crossed for him that he finds his rhythm straight away from the World Cup. Now, Shami picked up 24 wickets in 7 matches of his last ICC tournament for India, being the senior-most pacer of the side. Now, a lot rests on his experienced shoulders. He will, of course, have Harshit Rana and Arshdeep Singh in that pace department to support him. Unlike the other teams that have matches at different venues, India will be based in Dubai for the entirety of the tournament, which means once the Indian players acclimatize to the conditions, familiarity with the pitches and ground dimensions could work to their advantage. India's decision to include 5 spin bowling options in its squad suggests that the Dubai International Cricket Stadium pitches are likely to aid spin, and India has enough variety in its department to capitalize. Now, let's talk about Bangladesh. Bangladesh haven't had a great run in ODIs lately. In addition, they have little to no prep heading into the Champions Trophy 2025. Since 2023, Bangladesh have lost 24 of their 41 matches that they've played, which include series losses against Afghanistan and West Indies. Shunter too has not been in great form as he's coming off an injury and a string of low scores in the Bangladesh Premier League. Bangladesh will also be without their senior all-rounder Shakib Al Hasan. He's been suspended from bowling in top-flight cricket due to an illegal action and recently failed a second independent assessment of his action. Now, if you look at their head-to-head record, of course, India has a huge advantage. The 2 Asian countries have faced each other 41 times in this format, with India holding an overwhelming 32-8 advantage. However, of those 8 wins for Bangladesh, 3 have come in their last 5 meetings, including a 2-1 series win at home and a 6-run victory in the Super 4 clash at the 2023 Asia Cup. But India did have the last laugh in the 2023 ODI World Cup, beating Bangladesh by 7 wickets in Pune. Now, on the eve of their first match in the Champions Trophy, Team India vice-captain Shubman Gill, he dethroned Pakistan's Babar Azam from the #1 spot in the ICC ODI rankings for batters. Gill benefited from his strong show against England in the recent home series. The ICC issued the latest rankings just ahead of the start of the 8-team tournament in Karachi, with the match between Pakistan and New Zealand Gill, who scored 250s and a century in the recent three-match ODI series against England at home, which India won 3-0. He jumped one place to number one spot. He now has 796 rating points compared to Babar's 773. Indian skipper Rohit Sharma is placed in the third spot with 761 points, followed by South Africa's Heinrich Klaassen and New Zealand's Daryl Mitchell at fourth and fifth, respectively. In a statement, ICC said, and I quote, India right-hander Shubman Gill, he overtakes former Pakistan captain Babar Azam to become the top-ranked ODI batter in the world. It is a major shake-up at the top of the rankings just prior to the start of the Champions Trophy and leaves an interesting subplot to what will transpire after or over the coming weeks during the 8-team tournament in Pakistan and Dubai. So this is the second time that Gill has held this number one ranking in ODI cricket, with the Indian batter having also gone past Babar to claim top spot midway through the ICC Men's World Cup in 2023. All right, let's now move on to Champions Trophy, and Alphonso Davies finally showed Bayern Munich some love on Tuesday when his goal sent the Bavarian powerhouse into the last 16 of the Champions League. Bayern Munich's busy match schedule affected their performance in a 1-1 draw against Celtic early morning. But coach Vincent Kompany, he said that after the German hosts needed a stoppage time equalizer to squeeze through to the Champions League round of 16, he said he was satisfied. Bayern Munich qualified 3-2 on aggregate in their playoff, but only after struggling against the Scots, who had the better chances and took the lead in the 63rd minute through Nicholas Kuhn, former Bayern reserve player. The hosts needed a last gasp goal from Alphonso Davies to seal their spot in the next round following last week's 2-1 victory in Glasgow. Bundesliga leaders were in Celtic last week before travelling to reigning champions Bayer Leverkusen on Saturday. Last for the Bundesliga's top-of-the-table clash, where they played out a goalless draw. Bayern, who have an 8-point lead now over second-place Leverkusen in the Bundesliga, could be without Harry Kane on Sunday at home to Eintracht Frankfurt, who are 5 points further back in third, with the striker taken off at half-time.
We were in Glasgow on Wednesday, got back quite late. We got back quite late on Thursday, Friday. Then you go again and travel to Leverkusen to play that game, and obviously a big energy output. And then it's normal sometimes after the second game in such a short spell for players to take an extra day to recover. So to that point, there was nothing abnormal. And he gave the thumbs up this morning. He's an experienced player. It's an important game, so we obviously fully trust his judgment. But then during the game, he felt like he wasn't able to fully help the team anymore. And in that moment, of course, we didn't want to take the extra risk.
Well, like you say, a mixture of firstly pride in the performance level. You know, we have to remember this is Bayern Munich, and I think everyone had talked about that before the game and the challenges that we have here. But I thought performance-wise, we were outstanding in the game. Played without any fear. Defended so well with discipline, pressed at the right moments, gave them issues on that side of the build-up, and then we're able to be compact and tight in the right moments.
It's the big game tonight between Manchester City and Real Madrid, and Pep Guardiola acknowledged yesterday that he was playing mind games with his assessment that Manchester City had only a 1% chance of eliminating holders Real Madrid in the Champions League during their second leg playoff tie. His team trail after a late collapse saw Real beat them 3-2 at the Etihad in the first leg last week. On the eve of the clash in Madrid, Real coach Carlo Ancelotti, he joked with reporters that not even Guardiola believed his earlier downbeat forecast and that he would raise it with him before their sides took the field. With few picking the 2023 champions to upset 50-time Champions League winners Real for a last 16 berth, Guardiola said was at least boosted by the presence of their leading scorer Erling Haaland at training on Tuesday after he left Saturday's 4-0 thrashing of Newcastle with an apparent knee injury. Ruben Diaz, Nathan Ake and Jack Grealish also trained after all three missed the win over Newcastle. Guardiola kept his cards close to his chest on whether any or all will play, saying they travelled. We will see tomorrow, but it's all good news. They are here. Guardiola is no stranger to the cauldron of Real's Bernabeu Stadium, saying he has incredibly good memories in the stadium, sometimes good and sometimes not so good. Listen in.
You have to make an almost perfect game, obviously. The result is not good. Always we came with a more or less good result, but the result is not the perfect situation. We have to attack, we have to score goals. This is the idea. You have to play with courage. You have to be yourself. What I learned in the years, like I was a football player with a young player here, and we didn't get results. The moment we changed a bit the mentality, you have to play with incredible courage. You have to play to win the game. Otherwise, always you can lose, but always you are yourself. And the times we did really well here when they get results because we play to win the game.
City midfielder Bernardo Silva said in November that he and his teammates had been in a dark place after their 4-1 thrashing by Lisbon Sporting earlier on in the tournament's league phase, but the 30-year-old said that gloom was lifting.
When a team is so successful as ours was in the last 7 to 8 seasons, you lose a few games, you're not used to it, you have a bad season, you have a bad few months, and we don't accept it. We don't accept the situation, we don't take well losing, not winning, and winning and winning. So yeah, it was at that time it was really frustrating because we came from, I think, 2 or 3 defeats in a row. I do think that the team is in a better moment now. Still not perfect in terms of results, especially, but yeah, I think we're not in the same dark place. Especially personally, that I was feeling like we were in, I would say, November. Was it?
Real Madrid manager Carlo Ancelotti, he brushed aside Pep Guardiola's claim that Manchester City have a 1% chance of beating the Spanish side on Wednesday. Like I just said, he said that the defending European champions only hold a very small advantage. Real came back from 3-2 late on against City at the Etihad last week in their first leg of the Champions League playoff, but Ancelotti urged his side not to get ahead of themselves as they seek to seal a last 16 place in front of their own fans. After Real Madrid launched a letter of complaint against La Liga's referees following what they consider to be a number of unfair decisions, Ancelotti said the Champions League had fewer controversial calls, though he still had issues with VAR.
Well, he really doesn't think that tomorrow I'll ask him before the match if he really thinks that he's got 1% of chances. In reality, he thinks that they've got a bit more as it's fair to happen. And we don't think we have 99% chances. We think we have a slight advantage and we need to make it good by performing the same match we did on the first leg where it worked out good for us. I think that VAR has taken away a lot of responsibility from the one who needs to judge, who is a referee. So in the moment you take away responsibility from the judge, it becomes a bit of dangerous system. VAR has created to remove flagrant and obvious mistakes and not to intervene in football matters. Sometimes they judge just based on a frame and they take away all the football nature of the game.
7 times world champion Lewis Hamilton appeared in Ferrari red for the first time outside of Italy as Formula One put on an unprecedented and a spectacular 10-team season launch in front of 15,000 fans on Tuesday. The 40-year-old Briton, who has moved from Mercedes, got the loudest cheer of the night when he took the stage for an event that coincided with the birthday of his Italian team's lead founder, Enzo. The 2-hour show with British comedian and host Jack Whitehall, he gently was ribbing the protagonist. It featured lights, lasers and musical acts, including former boy band Take That and youth country singer Kane Brown. Liberty Media-owned Formula One said early in the evening that their YouTube channel had smashed through the 1 million viewers mark, breaking a previous live event record of 289,000. There was a time when the team struggled to agree even on what day it was, but Formula One's surging popularity and revenues have concentrated and changed those minds. The success of Netflix docu-series Drive to Survive and the arrival in cinemas later this year of Brad Pitt's Hollywood drama F1 has led to tickets for the event selling out in a matter of minutes. The show, featuring all 20 drivers, it was broadcast live around the world and streamed on social media. The teams each had just 7 minutes to present their liveries, the cars, either old ones, repainted, or engineless shells made just for the show that will not go anywhere near this circuit. Red Bulls at least had an engine in it, but Sauber had announced well in advance that theirs would be auctioned off after the event. Ferrari, last year's runners-up, will be launching their 2025 car at Maranello on Wednesday, while McLaren and Williams ran theirs at Silverstone last week in interim liveries.
I think the word that I'm thinking of is invigorated, because I feel so full of life and so much energy because everything's new and just focused on what's up ahead. I'm so proud to be a part of the team, something new and exciting for me. So thank you for being here.
And he's getting support from all quarters. Former world champions Nigel Mansell, Damon Hill and Mika Hakkinen. They believe Lewis Hamilton's switch to Ferrari will reignite the 40-year-old's career. Speaking at an event at London's O2 Arena to kickstart that season, all three insisted that 7-time world champion Hamilton could add another title to his CV. After 12 years at Mercedes, Hamilton announced last year that he would make the move to the iconic team Ferrari.
I think Lewis will pip it. I hope so. Do you know what? He's got so much going for him at the moment. He's got so much talent. He just needs a bit more motivation. I think going to Ferrari's going to embrace it. There's a lot of history with the past manager of Ferrari as well, and Lewis knows how to get the job done. On saying that, Max will be trying to spoil it with Red Bull, and Max has done an outstanding job the last 4 years. Don't forget McLaren, they won the Constructors, and Lando Norris and his teammate doing a fantastic job. And don't forget, Mercedes are going to have to prove a point. They need to bounce back too, and that's why you got the most fantastic year. But with all the hype and everything else, I think Ferrari are overdue. They should have won a couple of world championships this last 5 years, and through pit stops and various things they haven't. So they're ready to go, they really are. And I hope no one drops the ball. I hope all the racing's on the track and there's no mistakes.
And I think it's going to be a good season, good fun. And of course, Lewis with the Ferrari, going to be excited to see how he's able to adapt his time with the team, new team, and adapting with the new people. So it's quite a challenge. It depends a lot about the driver, the human, the personality, what they feel, what they're going through with their life. And sometimes the drivers, it's good to change and go to other team. That way they get extra boost, extra motivation for performance.
It's better, it's bigger, it's more colourful, and people are earning more from it. No, Formula One's totally global and probably the biggest sport in the world now. Motorsport at the high level, bigger than American football, bigger than European or British football. So the sport, everybody drives a car now, men and women, so the sport's very strong.
With that, we've come to the end of this edition of Game On. Hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.